But here he is talking about, they're agents of light, and it's a fight against light and dark, and it is. But I urge you to think, please think, between light and dark. Who is bringing darkness? And I don't mean division. That is bad darkness. You're right. And I think both sides can be called on the carpet for dividing people. But there is a difference in the division of one group. And that is they are preaching a division because there is no forgiveness. There is no salvation. That crosses into darkness beyond your usual, wow, they cause a lot of problems. This crosses into spiritual darkness. There is no hope for white people. There is no redemption for this society. Then just covetousness, where you are being told you deserve the things that others have, that they never earned it. You didn't build this. You are being taught collectivism. You are being taught to destroy is good. That peaceful riots make sense. Peaceful and riots don't go together. I don't know who dropped the ball on this one and how we have all been duped in saying peaceful riots. Peaceful and riots are antonyms. They don't go side by side and work. I mean, if this isn't woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who turn darkness to light and light into darkness, who replace bitter with sweet and sweet with bitter. This is what's happening right now. Woe to those people, meaning look out. And we're doing it now. As a society, we are doing it. The words that you hear in our society, from me, from others, from our politicians, will be studied for generations to come if we are lucky enough. If we are lucky enough to ever be free again. Because of technology, because of globalization, because of, you know what, honestly, guys, I think the Lord has to come. I think we are living in biblical times. I think he has to come, and here's why. The Tower of Babel, that whole story, that story was about collectivism. And we'll build a tower to the sky if we can just make everyone the same and make them into bricks. Now, you can say that was a literal tower. You could say that was a fairy tale. But either way, it teaches a lesson. If they can do this, they'll do anything. And so the merciful God, the side of God that shows mercy, scattered the people. He confused their language. What kind of God would do that? A God that understood that it's slavery. If you make everyone the same and you can completely control them, then they become slaves and they lose their free will. And anything that does that, God is always on the side of liberty and freedom, even if it is an arrow in his heart, even if it's like, oh, really, after all I've done for you, you're choosing this? Even when we wound him, he still would defend our liberty to choose. And he weeps when we choose the wrong because he knows the punishment that is coming. And not because he's an evil, vengeful God, just because it's the way the universe works. There is a force of light and dark. I almost crossed a line here. That is one of the lines that I said, if I ever cross this line, we're in deep trouble. I've got to pray on this before I say all of what I was just about to tell you. Christians, hear me. No man knows the time, but these very well could be the days that lead up to the time. And we are looking at something that is moving so quickly. Last year, people were looking at Brett Kavanaugh and that hearing as a breaking point where they said, boy, if they could do that to him, what chance do my children have? In a county that is just south of Nashville, Tennessee, the school district is now requiring parents to sign a release that says they will not watch or monitor what their children are learning in school. If that's not a big red line for you, I don't know what is. We are being monitored. We are being, and we've all been told it's for our good, or this is metadata. They can never find you. Yes, they can. And we put up with it. Now they are silencing voices. Thank God Goodyear turned around, but Goodyear said you can wear a Black Lives Matter, which should be one of the most controversial organizations developed in my lifetime, outside of a death cult, which I believe Black Lives Matter is. The organization, Inc., Black Lives Matter, Inc., I believe is a death cult. What do they want? What do they want, really? They want the destruction of the family. Their words, not mine. The destruction of the Western idea of family, of a mom and a dad and children. They are openly advocating for its destruction. They don't believe in forgiveness. They believe in revenge. They are looking to end the free market. Keyword, free market. Free.
And you're just going off of their documents here, right? This is, I mean, we all know that there's a million people who are out there marching in the streets that have no idea what the organization says.
You better damn well wake up.
But that organization, right, does say dissolve the nuclear family, does say we are trained Marxists, does say we need to end capitalism.
Does say they need to end the Western oppression, the Western way of life. You can't take guns away from people and then say, oh, and we're getting rid of the police. You can't do it. Look at what has happened to our children. Look at what they're advocating now, that we have our children not go to school even longer. Even longer. Look at the suicide rate. Look at the human trafficking that is going on. Look at the profound darkness and evil that is happening. And if you're not going to a church that will call this evil, you need to reconsider. You need to sit with your pastor, your priest, your rabbi and say, is this evil or not? Because this goes against everything I'm taught in the Bible. Everything I'm taught.